Family is Snupsa here at Ngosi Talk Shows, finding on voice made thing. I'm on my own today, guys, and the topic today is how to heal your wounded inner child to find love again. Healing your wounded inner child is a profound and transformation process that can positively impact various aspects of your life, including your ability and nurturing love. And so I'm going to share some steps and guide you through this journey of healing your inner child. So before we get to the topic, guys, let me just share the video. Let's share the video to our audience. So I hope you guys are okay, and I hope you all are looking forward to Friday tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, and if you are watching the talk show wherever you guys may be, please feel free to let me know what you guys are up to tomorrow. Me tomorrow I'm working. It's Friday, but I've got to work till 6 p.m. Yes. How to heal your wounded child. So let's just get into the topic. And so the first thing is you have to reflect. So let me get closer. You have to reflect. I'm so cold. Let me get closer to the mic. The first thing is you have to reflect on the situation, whatever that might be, you might be going through, and take time to reflect on your past and past experiences, and especially your childhood experience is very, very important, because if you don't uh, reflect on your childhood experience, it will affect your life in so many ways. If you're still wounded, if your inner child is still wounded, some people think when your inner child is being wounded, it means you have had bad experiences growing up, or you might have so many things that can happen. Yes, you might have had some really bad experiences. Some people go through child abuse, sexually abuse, physically, emotionally abuse. Some people go through neglect. Some people go through so much pain, different pain, or some people simply they have loving parents, they've had loving and caring parents, but they still feel that their life is not fulfilled. Their childhood wasn't fulfilled. They still feel that their parents could have done better, or there's still something within that is not fulfilled. So if you are somebody who is going through those kind of challenges, please do reflect to your childhood without blame, guys. When you reflect on something, where there is blame, there cannot be a breakthrough. The reason why you will look back on some things and will reflect, um, sometimes you may feel that your childhood was stripped away from you. You have a right to feel that. Sometimes you may feel that the people whose job were meant to love you, meant to protect you, they tend away from you. You simply have a right to feel that way. You cannot ignore your feelings. So for those who are feeling that way, who have had bad experiences in their childhood, or some people like I said before, they had amazing childhood, but they feel that there was something that their parents, mostly is those children who have parents that really want them to be perfect. I'm afraid for me, my parents were never like that. They never ever wanted me to be perfect. But there are some people who grew up with their parents, they want them to be doctors. Parents want them to be lawyers, want them to be this. And they completely do not want to be that. And that way, when your feelings are shut, when you feel that you cannot express your feelings every single day, your child, your inner child gets trapped. Your soul gets trapped because you feel that you are not really, you don't have that authority to express your feelings, to be the person that you are meant to be. So that can play later when you're older. It can play because there's something that you felt as a child that was missing, and if that fulfillment is not being accepted, it's not being fulfilled, or it's not being dealt with, if there's no healing in it, it can affect your relationship. It can affect your career because wherever you go, you will be doing things based on not the fulfillment. But when you heal your inner child, the day I healed my inner child, it was the day where I found authority within me. It was the day where I fully accepted, where I felt, what does it mean to be Nomsa? What does it mean to be the woman that God created me to be? Let me shut my door. What does it mean to be the person that I was at that moment? But when I felt that healing going through my body, there was a connection between my adult Nomsa and my inner child. And that connection, it was like, I have been here. You've not acknowledged me. And I had to forgive myself because I had not acknowledged my inner child. So feel free, guys, to reflect on your story. And if you want to comment, you can comment. Tell me what your story, how do you feel about it, or you can message me private. However you want to do it, or you can just have a conversation with me here. I'm happy to do that. And also, there are some people when they come on the talk show, they don't comment because they don't want people to see what they're typing. If you ask me to be the person that I am today, I had to stop worrying about because every journey that we go through is personal, is individual, and that journey is amazing. For me, I had amazing parents. My parents divorced when I was 8 months. I was the youngest. My mom and dad had three girls, so they divorced. So when they divorced, my mom had to go back to school. She's a fashion designer, and she had to remarry. My dad had to remarry. My grandmother was alive, so my dad is one of those men that take responsibilities. My mom said to my dad, when we got married, I didn't have children. When I left my mom and dad, I did not have children. So I do not want to go back to my parents with my children, and I want to go back to school. I need you to take responsibilities of our children. So my daddy was like, okay, sure, I'll take responsibility. So my grandmother raised me and my two sisters. My dad went back to work, my mom went back to work. We were so happy. My mom, she's an amazing woman. My dad is an amazing. I have never witnessed the divorce. I was 8 months years old, guys. I'm trying to share my story so you can see how your subconscious mind can play a big part in your life. When things go wrong, sometimes we don't know why. So because my parents divorced, I had this really amazing life with my parents. I got to my mom. My stepdad was my dad. It was my dad. My dad was my dad. I had lovely parents. Not even one day I'd ever had second thought about my parents. But now I'm growing up, entering relationship. Now things are getting tough now. My life keeps going cycle, every cycle. When things get serious, I'm out in a relationship. That's the person that I was. Things get tough. I don't want no fighting. And also with the other thing is when we were growing up, my daddy was the man and my parents and my mom who was like, when you have a problem as a woman, as a parent, you keep the children out of it. So I did not witness them fighting. I did not see my dad fighting. I did not see my mom fighting. For me, it was smiles all the time. Did they fight? Oh, hell yes, they did. Private. And until I got older. Now, if my mom goes and see my mom and dad, or my stepmom or my stepdad, I didn't see them fighting. Now I'm growing up now. I was loved, I grew up to a loved family. Growing up now, I'm witnessing a man is coming to me now. It's telling me off. I'm like, mm-mm, I don't get told off. You explain to me you explain to me things. When things go wrong, you explain to me. But my inner child is wounded already. Because my parents divorced, I needed some answers in my subconscious mind, in the surface, in my inner world, in my outer world. I thought things were okay. But deep down, I needed some answers. I needed my mom to explain to me about the divorce, to set me free because when things are happening is bound in the physically and in the spirit realm. So they needed to set me free by explaining to me about the divorce because I've never witnessed the divorce. I didn't have a clue. But in the spirit realm, I was trapped because I needed answers. But if you ask me, I walk every day, I'm happy, everything is okay. But when it comes to things in my life, it will affect my life. My life was affected. So then I had to ask myself, why is my life like this? Why is my life like this? So when I had to ask him, why is my life like this? Now I was going through like a divorce, and I look at my life when I reach 8 years of a relationship, my relationship goes. That's the end of it. It's 7 years or 8 years. That's it. That was the cycle that was happening that moment. And I was like, okay, my ex, he was moving on, I was moving on. But for me, I was moving on in a different path. When I was moving on, I did not want no divorce anymore. I did not want to do anything. I had to rewrite my story. So you can look at your life, guys, where your life has been wounded, where your inner child has been wounded. And when you see where your life has been wounded, instead of blaming, reflect. First, I had to accept who I was as a child, as an adult. What went on when I was a child, I had to accept it because now I had answers. Now I needed my mom to explain to me, and I had to accept that yes, my parents divorced. So now I realize, okay, I'm happy. I love my stepdad. I love my stepmom, but I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. So then I had to go deep. I walked in one day. I think we were playing football against Arsenal. Finished the game. I oh no, we were playing against Arsenal. Meant to go to Germany to play against Germany. And I just looked at my life. My life wasn't in the right place. And I was fighting immigration as well. This thing of renewal visas at the time, my life wasn't good. Then I just walked out of the pitch after the game. I was like, I need to make some changes. My life in at home, I had everything. You name it. Money, I go shopping whenever I want. I was living in a beautiful mansion. I had it all. People pass through my house. They'll just look at the view of the house. It's so beautiful. But I wasn't happy. So the moment I decided I had to retire football, I was like to my football manager, I need to go. I need to go and sort my life out. Sort my life out. I resigned. I retired football, went home. My relationship ended. Now working on my life. I had no mission. My mission was to not to blame my ex or to blame myself or to blame my parents. My mission was to sort where my life had anything that wasn't fulfilled, just to heal this broken heart, to heal my broken heart properly. Then I had to go back to my childhood. First, I asked my mom, not ask my dad anymore. And asked my mom, tell me about this breakup between you and my dad. And she explained to me that my mom did not want to give birth to us and be a housewife, but my dad wanted her to be a housewife. My mom wanted to go back to school. They got married. I think my mom was 19 and my dad was older than my mom. My dad was like 7 years older than my mom, or older than that. Very charming man. He's a black man. He looks really young. Even when he died, he was 60. He looked like a 40-year-old, very charming and good looking man. So he was like, okay, got married to my mom, and he was like, I need you can stay home. I'll provide for the family. My granddad was very rich. It's like I'll provide for the family. But my mom didn't want that. She wanted to go back to school and study. So that's when there was a disagreement. So my mom left. And now my mom is explaining this is the reason why I had to go, Nomsa. Otherwise, I would have been unhappy. I had to go back to school, and your daddy didn't want me to go back to school. And I was like, okay, to me, it made sense that she had to go, and my dad couldn't. But I was happy that things ended up that way. But before that, when I was I was a musician, very young. When I actually realized that I was about to being offered a contract, a record contract, I felt that there was something that was missing. But I don't know what happened. The agenda was to go and ask my mom questions. I felt something was missing, but I don't know. The universe works in so many ways. Maybe I would have been a drug addict if I had signed the contract, agreed. My life would have been completely different. So I feel that I did not have a childhood. My childhood from I was 9 years old, I would practice music, go to bed at midnight. I did not have like anybody else having fun. I was like, I'll go to school, come back to school, I'll eat. I was an African child, guys, so I'm not a British. So don't be surprised when I say I go to bed at midnight. I'll go to come back from school, eat, and then we'll have dinner. And then after dinner, my granddad will come in. Everybody else will come music, like maybe 20 or 30 of us will practice music, but I was the leader in the band. And then when we finish, we go to bed maybe around 1. maybe 12. I didn't have like childhood. When I come back from school, I will take the opportunity that I have, climb trees or maybe do something, or sometimes my stepmom should ask me to do whatever she wanted. And I would just do whatever she wants before I go with my granddad. So that was my daily life, 7 days a week. By the time I was like 10 years old or 11 years old, I was like a professional mad and crazy. Like I was, yeah. But then I didn't realize that something was missing. But when they like presented me like my granddad saying, now go to go professional, I was like, no, I needed something, needed to go and connect with my mom properly. So I moved in with my mom. I did not go to secondary school, guys. I refused. I needed to connect with my mom. When I moved in with my mom was like, you need to go back to school. I was like, I don't think so. My parents, yeah, they raised me to be that person that do things that I desire to do. For me, it was like sports, music, sports, and music. So I was like, let me be. Stayed with my mom for 2 years, 12, I was 14, till I was 15 or 16. Then I started traveling when I was allowed to travel on my own. So I started traveling. My life wasn't fulfilled, but I didn't know. So if you are somebody who is going through um, that, accept what it is. So I had to accept that my parents, this is what it is. But when I now divorced, I had to have self-compassion with myself. I found Paul McKenna. Paul McKenna, I didn't do all the hypnosis, the whatever, the crazy. I didn't do that. To me, I did the module of how to mend a broken heart. That's the module that I did. When I did the module of how to mend a broken heart, it was very, very confrontational. I had to confront my feelings. I had to confront my childhood. It was so painful. Every journey that I took, the day my stepmom moved in, when she moved in, I needed to connect. I needed to understand, or somebody to tell me, but I was okay. But somehow, my childhood wasn't happy. So I had to confront all those feelings. And confronting those feelings, it means I needed to talk to my mom. I needed to talk to my dad. But unfortunately, my daddy had died. He was no longer going to answer any questions. But for me, my mom had to answer all the questions. Now she became my mom and dad. My stepdad had gone. She became my mom and dad, answering the questions, asking her the day I was born, what happened? Tell me, because this is how I'm feeling inside. And my inner child wasn't great. So after when my mommy explained, now I had to deal with accepting, um, accepting, having compassion. And when I had the compassion now, I had to connect with my inner child. But doing my connecting with my inner child because I'm a Christian. And I was journaling everything that my mom was doing. So you guys, you can either I forgot the part of therapy. I'd gone to four psychologists as well, and they were talking to me every day. And like, and I couldn't get what I couldn't connect with what they were trying to do, like trying to trigger within me. I could not connect it. I was journaling, doing everything and doing the right thing. I was making the right decision, journaling, everything like they've asked me to do, asking questions to my mom, and going in front of the mirror. I talk to myself. I do everything that they asked me to do. Nothing was happening. It was then when I made a decision that I'm a Christian. So what do I do now that I'm trying to connect? Paul McKenna's Mending Broken Heart was working as well because I was mending my broken heart. I was asking questions. The first thing that I had to do with the Paul McKenna is to get rid of the lies that I had been telling myself, because there were lies that have been created within me that I had made them the truth. I have created them, and those lies became the truth. I wasn't enough. I believed that I wasn't enough. I believed that going through the divorce, no one is ever going to want me. I believed that I wasn't beautiful enough. So many things that I told myself. So I had to get rid of that first. And it was so painful. The lies through the years that I've been telling myself. When I go on a date with somebody, I pretend to be something that I'm not. That is a lie. Whatever I do, something when I walk with somebody, when I meet friends, I try to fit in. I try to change my personality so I can fit in with that person. I try to speak their language, sing their music, walk their walk, dance their dance. But I had to get rid of that. It wasn't a joke. Guys, when you're miserable, I grew up as a happy child. Happy child. My grandmother, my dad, and my mom, they are happy people. I was so happy growing up. But then I became miserable because of that. When your childhood is wounded, that means you become miserable. You're not happy. So with that moment, I had to actually work on myself. So you can actually look at your life. The reason why I share this story is because you can look at your life and see where there is a pattern. And the other thing that I had to do is forgiveness. Forgiveness is the critical component, self-forgiveness. I had to forgive myself. And along the way, there were people that have hurt me along the way. There were people, adults, that have hurt me, made me feel that I wasn't enough. There were friends that had hurt me. So I had to forgive myself. I had to forgive my friends. And that is not easy. That's not easy. And I had to reparenting myself. Reparenting myself is to tell my inner child that regardless of what you went through, what I went through as a person, if I feel that I wish that I had not been met my past, I had to thank my past and say, I'm grateful to you that we crossed paths. I am happy that I met you, my past. But now I'm going to let you go. So I had to let it go my past by forgiving myself. Self-forgiveness. It was hurting. When you forgive yourself, when you understand the gift of freeing yourself from the burden of carrying that resentment. And that resentment is sometimes that you may not even explain it. You can sometimes is the things that you can't explain. Why do I feel the way that I feel? Sometimes you can't explain it. Some people might talk to them, might listen to my story and say, Nomsa, woman up. Things happen. But when it comes to reality, that's the truth is that's how I felt. So your story might be different than mine. But how you feel is how you feel. You cannot ignore it. Because when you ignore it, it eats you inside. By trapping you, I felt that I was trapped. Part of me was trapped. So all I can say to you guys, just forgiveness. Self-forgiveness is the critical component of how you are able to move forward with your life, regardless of whether you are a man. I hear men sometimes saying, I don't need counseling. I don't need to go through healing because I'm okay. There is nothing wrong with me. I don't need to do all these things. I'm not weak. Weak people, they're the ones who go for counseling. But guess what? How is it going in a relationship? It can affect your relationship in so many ways. At work, you could get married, be in a relationship that is nothing, empty relationship. When I mean empty relationship, you find yourself living separate lives with your spouse because of unhappy. When you are unhappy in your subconscious mind, there is no way in reality you can be happy. You go to work. We live in this world where it's like, you go to work, problems. Imagine you already have your problems in your subconscious mind. You go to work, problems. Children, if you have children, go to school, problems. Every corner of your life, problems. If you are unhappy and you still have this life within it that is within you, inner child that is wounded, how are you able to be happy? So you can see where I come from. That healing is important. Forgiving yourself, forgiving those who have hurt you. I have my forgiveness thing that I do um here. Where is it? I do my forgiveness. Um, I do my forgiveness prayer every now. So forgiveness, it means you have to forgive your parents, forgive those who have hurt you, forgive yourself, and let go of any petition. Petition is the accusation. Let's say some people go through rape when they're child or adult. In order for you to forgive yourself and move on from that thing and break away completely, you have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive those who have hurt you. And then now, the most painful part is the petition that is inside of you. It's the accusation. They have to go. In order for you to be free, they have to go. So you have to forgive yourself, forgive that person that has hurt you, or even it could be at work, it could be a friend that simply made you feel that you are not enough. The reason why I say the accusation is when your body feel is being treated unfair, it goes inside your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind will then acknowledge that event, that I have been treated. And the accusation, this person has treated me unfair. And that subconscious mind now is creating the accusation. The accusation, they stay within you. And those accusations would actually affect the other person that has hurt you. You don't let it go. So the reason why we free ourselves completely, we heal ourselves, we let go of the petition, we let go of the accusation, is so that I can be free. I don't want to carry anybody. I don't want to feel the way that I'm feeling. So in order for me to be free, it's for me to let go of this petition, this accusation. I have not created the accusation. The accusation are real. When you go through pain, that pain is real, guys. I'm not saying it's not really, it's real. Whatever you might have gone through, some people go through divorce, unfair divorce, where somebody will take you for everything. Sometimes the woman will get married maybe she has money, she's rich, get married to a man who has nothing. By the time they divorce, they lose everything. Or a man is very rich. When they divorce with a woman, get married to a woman who walks in, she has nothing, they divorce, she takes him for everything. That, if that's not what you want in your heart, or if that's not what you want to lose your money, to lose everything, it becomes an accusation. That petition, you have to let it go. That is the hardest part, the healing. If anybody that is watching and saying, no, sir, that is the easiest part. For me, part is the hardest part of letting go of the petition, the accusation, when you feel that you've been treated unfair, when you feel that somebody is taking everything from you, that is an accusation. An accusation that could go and affect the other person, that can affect your health because it's in your soul, it's trapping your soul. Let it go. Taking step by step. I acknowledge, I accept, I reflect. Should I have gone through that pain? No. Should not have gone through that pain. I did go through it anyway. Is there anything I can do? Yes, I can do by freeing myself. I need to free myself. So if you want to free yourself, then you can free yourself by going step by step. Forgiveness. You have to go through that forgiveness. Let go of those who have offended you, those who have hurt you. Release them. You have to release them into freedom. I forgive the person that has hurt me. I forgive the person that has hurt me. I release them into their freedom. My forgiveness. You release them into into their freedom of your forgiveness. Now you want to set them free. If I have any bitterness, anger, resentment, hatred, that is me now talking, asking God. I have any bitterness, anger, hatred towards that person that has hurt me. Simply, I'm healing my inner child. Just want to be free. I ask for forgiveness. And I have to say to God, I have to tell God, you can create it your own. I have to tell God that I have not obeyed you, God. This God says, do not hold unforgiveness. I have not obeyed you. I've been stubborn. I'm holding unforgiveness. And I have rebelled against you. I've trusted in my own understanding. Now I'm asking God to take away the pain. However you may want to do it, you can actually do it your own way. But make sure you give yourself, you let that person go. I've trusted in my own forgiveness, my own understanding, my own strength, instead of me letting it go. God, I come to you right now. I repent of any evil soul tie. Sometimes, now if you are an adult now, that can create an evil soul tie that can affect your memory. It can affect whatever your work. So you just have to go through that forgiveness. And now I decree, you have to decree that anything that that person has against you cannot rule over you. Is when there's a petition in your heart, when there is accusations in your heart about somebody, that means that person, when you're holding it, that means that person is ruling over. So you have to say that person, I don't want them to rule over. I invite, for me, I'm a Christian, I invite Almighty to protect and receive. Protect for me is my parents, love and protect my parents. And just whatever your story might be, you need to cut the cord off, carry off, carry off, carry off, carry off, carry off any stronghold that comes from my childhood. Because when that grip, when that pain, or if there is an event, when that event has a grip in your heart, there's no way you can live and be happy in your marriage. So you need to cut that grip off. And now, once you cut that grip off and withdraw, withdraw your marriage from pain, withdraw your heart from pain. Because when the pain is in your heart, the pain it grips everything around you. So that's why some people say, everything in my life is going wrong. Because there is something that is gripping your life. Gripping your life is gripping your career. So you now have to go layer after layer, releasing it from that grip of pain, releasing it from the grip of your childhood. Release yourself, freeing yourself, free everything. Lose yourself from everything, every pain. And after you free yourself from every pain, and then be free and educate yourself, learn about the effect of the what have you learned from that trauma, and how maybe, and also helping others as well. That's the other way you can actually do. And once you have acknowledged your everything, just work on it. For me, I I did it a different way. When I realized that I just needed to do something with my life, I am a Christian. I had to fast for 40 days. When I fasted for 40 days, every single day my life was different. I work on myself every day. I work on whatever I needed to focus on that moment. Sometimes I'll feel the pain. Sometimes I'll cry, but I was okay with it. Sometimes I'll feel happy, or sometimes I'll visualize the person that has hurt me. I'll visualize meeting them face to face, telling them how I feel, the emotions that I have never expressed to them. So I'll visualize and they express those emotions, how I feel. And then I'll visualize forgiving them. And I'll visualize letting them go and just release them and let that person go. And when I release them and letting them go, I just wish them well. So I just went on forgiveness. I'll go step by step, step by step. Or if there's anybody that I need to forgive, I'll just go through that step by step, facing them, coming face to face, letting them know how they made me feel, and then releasing them at the same time. Um, but the last day of my when I the agenda was to for me going through my healing, but I ended up the end my story. It ended up with me like catching. I don't know if anyone has seen. If you guys go back and see, you can see my video of human blood sacrifice. So it end up with that me catching the last day of forgiveness. It was the last day the last day of my 40 day. It was the last day where Okay, when you are unhappy, your soul gets trapped. I didn't know that my soul was trapped. My inner child was trapped. Then when the door opened, I felt something that was being pulled out of my chest. That something dark was being pulled out of my chest. I felt the release, the freedom. But then that moment, when I felt the release and the freedom, I had come out now, happy. My childhood was healed. I was so happy. That's when the spirit of human blood sacrifice spoke that moment. I didn't know I was living with it. That's when it stopped. It spoke his voice like, and the spirit, the Hollywood spirit, you guys, you can go and watch my video. I'm not going to repeat it. The Hollywood spirit now, because I had gone back to my music. Now I was recording and I'd gone to The Voice for audition. I was healing myself. I was so happy. Things were great. And that's when the spirit that recruits the Hollywood people for fame. But what they were trying to do, actually, they were trying to trick me to think that I've agreed, so they'll have a legal right to kill me. Somebody had already gone. They found my pictures on social media and looked at my destiny. Somebody had gone and recruited members of my family to let them enter in the realm of the spirit. So they wanted to trick me to say yes. If I had say yes to that spirit by the time I had healed myself, it would have been, I would have given them a legal right. I wouldn't have got the fame that they'd promised, but I would have died because I would have given that person that wanted fame for me, that wanted wealth, to actually get that fame and wealth so they can kill me. But I said, yes, that is another story, guys. You can go back. Let's go back to the topic. You can go back, listen to my story. My story is real. I met the spirit that recruits. You see all these stars, Hollywood, when they say they've sold their soul, they are not actually selling their soul. They think they have, but they didn't sell their soul. They were forced to do it. Because when Lucifer entered my house, the angel of God entered my house. So Lucifer had already hacked me to the second heaven, to hell, for me to face condemnation. When you get taken for human blood sacrifice, condemnation, it means they need to like announce out loud everything is in the black book where they can read it out loud why they have a right to kill you. It could either the sins of my ancestors or the sins of my parents, they can use that. But the angel of God entered. When the angel of God entered, he made me feel everything, that no one has actually a choice when they're being recruited. These people don't have a choice because Lucifer is a fallen angel. He's a fallen angel that he has power similar to God. So he takes over everything. So when these celebrities say I sold my soul, they really didn't sell their soul. They were forced to say yes. So the angel of God now he was there to show me that if I wasn't here, Nomsa, you would not have had a choice. Your only answer that you have had would have been yes, nothing else. But then he gave me the choice. So I said no. That was another story. You can go and watch the video. That's when my journey began. And that's when I actually being tortured by Lucifer, that's when I learned how to heal myself, how to heal myself properly from my inner child. I realized that everything is subconscious. subconscious, and nothing else. What we bound on earth is bound in heaven, is bound in the realm of the spirit. That was my learning. But when I said yes, when I said no, my journey began of being tortured. And when my journey began, him torturing me now, he was now torturing me for the sins of my parents. The divorce is not allowed in a Christian unless you repent for it. My parents hadn't repented for the divorce, so he had to torture me through that divorce. Nobody says no to Lucifer. So you say no to him. Even there's celebrities when there's, because for me, I didn't know anything. When the angel of God came, he showed me everything, what he does, how he does it. And I had to experience all these celebrities that are who's joined. I had to feel everything. But at that moment, I can't repeat it and come back and talk about it and say, I know this celebrity has joined. That wasn't the reason why the angel of God was showing me. He was showing me on how to fight so I can know how Lucifer works, so I can know how to heal myself properly. That's why he was showing me for. And also he was showing me to actually find my identity. Lucifer knew my life. These people, when they actually put me under human blood sacrifice, they knew that I came from a royal family. When you come from a royal family, that blood, it means you have a leadership skills, natural. You have a leadership skills. It means you have wealth. There are some people who don't come from a royal family, but they do have wealth. It means these people knew my destiny. I was already in music, my gift, my talent. So this person wanted my talent. That's why he wanted me to die so they can have my talent. So in doing that, Lucifer puts me on condemnation. But the angel of God entering that moment, it was like saying no to Lucifer, and even God himself showing up and saying no to her death. But there are some people who have been sacrificed, don't get me wrong, who have gone through sacrifice, it succeed. For me, I think fasting for 40 days, it was something telling me that I need to do something. But at the moment, I continued with the journey. I thought I was healing my inner child. I didn't know what I was doing, but it was deep. And then after I finished, then I went through his journey now, torturing me. When he was torturing me now, he went back to my ancestors, back to generation, my ancestors. I come from a royal family, which I don't know that I come from a royal family. Now he was using everything that he can get. That's when God is showing me that Nomsa, he has a legal right. Legal right, you come from your royal family, but you don't know your identity. And then now I have to find my identity. I had to do now I'm healing myself. I had to go through the test now. I need to know where I come from. I need to know who I am. Going through that, but Lucifer is doing his work. So you can look at yourself, look at your inner child. If you feel unhappy, where do you come from? What is making you unhappy? For me, there were so many things that my subconscious mind knew that I was living the life that I wasn't meant to live. In my family's kingdom, I would have been a princess, but I was living an ordinary life. I was singing. That means it's a lie. I was living in a lie that I didn't know. But the universe, God, he knew what my destiny should be. I was unhappy. First, I was happy, and then I became unhappy. The more I get a job, the more I get something that like a high job, I just quit because I wasn't happy. I found peace The day I realized actually I come from my family, I come from a royal family, it was the day when I found peace. I was angry at the time. I got angry. I went to a phase where I was angry that I should have known the truth. My granddad was still on the throne. And I was angry that I should have known the truth. Why was my parents, my family, why did they leave? My family left Kenya and Nigeria. They went and lived in South Africa. I thought I was South African. Or some of them went to Zimbabwe. I thought, well, okay, this is what it is. I'm Zulu, but I'm not. When I did all the tests, I realized that I'm not. That's when I found peace. And that's when my life, having authority with my life, I had to accept who I was, my identity, and I had to thank my identity. I had to thank the people that wanted to sacrifice me for helping me to go through that journey with Lucifer's agent. There were pastors. Some of the pastors I got to know their identity. Family members, I had to go through another forgiveness. So I had to go through that. I had to thank those people in the process. But then and now, when I finish now getting to know that my family come from a royal family, and what was it now for me? Where where do I go from that moment moving forward? For me, it was choosing life that I already had. And choosing that life and choosing God, it was the best thing that I have ever done in my life. But I'm still going to go and claim the land of my ancestors and the land of my family, but I don't want no throne. I've made that decision. I don't want any throne because everyone there basically been wanting to sacrifice me because if I had lived, if I had gone, my family, if I had found out, I would have taken the throne. I was chosen to take the throne in my family. But it's not the throne that I want. I'm happy to know my past. I'm happy to know my family. I'm happy to know where I come from. But I chose God. And that's the happiest thing that I've ever done. Chose to walk with him because he came and saved me that moment. And I got to have a relationship. I got to understand in my childhood properly, my inner child, where Nomsa really come from. I got to have that intimacy, got to connect with my past. I got to connect with my family's life story. Got to connect with my bloodline. I got to connect with um, everything that came with it. Because when you don't know who you are, you can't find happiness. That moment when I found happiness, it was me now facing Lucifer. Because now I had authority within me. I had authority in my inner being. I had accepted my inner child, unapologetic. I had accepted who I was and where I came from. I had accepted that moment. But that moment, it had no hold over me anymore, no stronghold anymore. I had to tell him to stick it, that he can no longer kill me. He can stick it. He can get lost. That's what I did. In order for me to be where I am today. I've healed my inner child. Healing my inner child, I've connected with my past, with my family's past. how my family decided to live the life that they've lived in a lie, that they did not want to be hurt, that my family were hurt. They were really, really hurt. That's why for them to be free, they had to leave. When at the time, getting married to a white person, black people, there was so much slavery, so much racism. In order for my family to be free, they had to do something. So that's what they did. But at the same time, it did not make me happy. It made me miserable. So, but that is the past. So when we talk about the inner child, we talk about inner child, um, healing yourself, you go through therapy. Allow yourself to feel whatever you are feeling. Give yourself permission to feel that experience. I allowed myself to feel it. And I avoided self-judgment. I did not judge me. I did not judge my family, or I did not judge those who have hurt me. I had to understand my own perspective of life. I had to forgive myself, go through that forgiveness. I had to uh, I had to express what I'm feeling. So and for me to survive, I had people around me. People, there were pastors that heard about my story. These pastors, I wasn't related to them. They dedicated their lives. My fight with Lucifer and human blood sacrifice with these people, it lasted for 7 years. They dedicated their lives to train me how to defeat them in case they show up again. So how to defeat them, how to fight these battles that I was facing. And at the same time, there was unconditional love. These people, they gave me unconditional love. They gave me the love. The only person was, they gave me unconditional love. And everybody that showed up in that situation when I was going through, because the Spirit was speaking. And when it was speaking, now I had to tell people what the Spirit is saying. And the psychiatric doctor that showed up that was meant to actually would have sectioned me. He was like, no, I've seen this story, this kind of story before. So I'm not going to do what you guys want. I'm going to let Nomsa get help. And the pastors showed up and they agreed, they had to agree that yes, they can help me. So they did help me. It helped me with my inner child, with my healing. That's my story, guys. I'm sharing you my story so that you guys, when you think your story is messed up, listen to mine. Mine is messed up. Mine is messed up. I had to, if that man would have made a decision to say she needs to be sectioned, they would have sectioned me. That was 2016. They would have put me, my life would have been completely different. I'm not sure if I'll still be alive. I don't think so. I don't think I'll still be alive. Maybe I would have given up as well. But he refused. He was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let Nomsa decide what she wants to do. And the pastors, they were like, we know how to help her. We know what she's going through. And they signed up to say, we're going to help her. And it was a journey that they began to help me. Through that process, I've learned to heal myself. I've learned to love myself. I've learned to deal with, I've learned so much when somebody talks about, um, when people come in and they talk about occult. I've learned to learn more what is occult, what is Lucifer's assignment. Occult, basically, the god of occult is Lucifer. So anyone that joined the cult, they go to him. So those are the things that I have learned. I had to go through that healing. So if you look at yourself and say, I don't want to talk about my story. I don't want to go for counseling where I have to talk about my story. Guys, listen to my story. My story is messed up. But now I'm happy to share it with you. I'm happy to, when I share it with somebody, I know when they go through problems, they'll say, if Nomsa can fight this battle, that means I can. I don't know what your childhood is, what you went through. I don't know what you're going through at this moment. It could be is causing blockages in your life, or it could be causing blockages any at work or with your business or with anything. I don't know. In your marriage, I don't know. Or maybe you are somebody who is divorced, who feels that the world is against me. There's no good women out there. There is no good men out there. I tell you what, in the middle of all these things that I was going through, found love. When my battle was beginning, it was like these people, you only need to find people that can be on your side. It's either one person that can say, I hear you, I feel you, I relate to you, I'm happy to walk with you. You don't need anybody else, you don't need the whole world. People make mistake where they want the whole world to be to be friends with them. You want everybody to like you. You want everybody to. It's never going to happen. You have one person that says, I have you, I have your back, I hear you, I'm happy to walk with you through this, whatever that you may going through, whatever your inner child that is wounded, whatever that might be. Just walk it. Just walk with that person and they'll help you. I'm talking from the experience, guys. I had to experience, my life had to be hanged in balance between heaven, between the second heaven and the third heaven. When I'm in the second heaven, out with earth, I was facing death. There was no way. If God did not show up, or if God did not tell Lucifer to let me go, they would have killed me. I didn't. In the end, I survived. But through that survival, I became too interested in learning about him, about all this occult, about how do I actually heal my inner child properly so I can live a happy life. And then I had to heal myself. I had to go back step by step, heal myself properly. I done it at first. And now the second time now it was unapologetic, healing myself and loving myself, and having authority at the same time. You need authority within. You need strength. Whatever you do in life, you need strength. So I had to have strength to work on my strength. I had to work on my confidence within, out. I had to, what else did I had to do? I had to stop wearing, I don't wear makeup anymore. I had to stop wearing makeup because makeup was making me feel that um, when I wear makeup, I feel like $1 million. When I don't wear it, I feel different. So I had to stop wearing makeup. There's so many things I had to do. I had to change some of my life around. Then after I did that, guys, through the healing now, it was me and God now, asking God, what am I meant to do while I'm here on earth? It's my purpose. My purpose is to save. My purpose is to help you guys. That's why I show up. Some people, I get messages on LinkedIn, people sending me messages saying, Nomsa, where do you find strength to actually do the lives Monday to Friday? Is when I found that strength is me. asking God, what is my purpose? And God is showing me my purpose is to do this. My purpose is to do that, is to do that. And it's just showing up for you guys and knowing that it's not about the views, like how many views I get. Is that one person that listens to my story and change their story? That's what I need, because when God showed up to save me, I didn't know how much I was worth, but I realized that I am worthless. You cannot put a price on me. So that's how I feel about anyone that is on earth. That I save you guys. I show up and just whatever the topic that I have, I just show up and deliver whatever. Some people may not like my talk show. That's okay. So you have to look at your story. And once you look at your story, have authority. Go with authority. Along the way, guys, along the way, there were times where I fall. There were times where, when I was healing my inner child, where I feel like I don't want to do it anymore. I feel like I don't want to do this inner child healing. Very blood. Give me a reasoning. Ask me to think about the reason why is important. What do I need to live for? Why am I doing this? The freedom, freedom of my life, my destiny. And that's why I had to do it. So you can look at your life and ask yourself what it means when you heal yourself and just go for it. You have bad days, it's fine, it's normal. I was having bad days as well at that time. But now, if you were to come with me now that I've healed my inner child, uh, when problems come, I deal with problems differently than I did before. When they come, I look at them, I acknowledge them, but I tell them they cannot defeat me. I tell my problems that they cannot defeat me. That's the that is the big thing that I do, that you cannot defeat me. And what else do I do? What else can I add? I have healthy boundaries. I educate myself every single day. I pray to God. I keep myself connected to God. And I celebrate my inner child moments and with joy, spontaneous. And I welcome out of life. And I engage in activities that brings me joy and happiness. And I remind myself of my carefree nature childhood. I go running. I do the things that I love. I love music. I just love doing the things that I do. I work on my business. So you guys can just look at your life and see and just go through the healing. The process is not easy, but you can do it. For Christians, to make things very easy if you're a Christian is you need to stay connected with God, which is pray, fast, maybe 2 days a week or 3 days a week. And the reason why you fast is to connect to your inner being. It means whenever you have a problem, the Holy Spirit can guide you through. I've learned that when I was fasting for that 40 days, I was no longer the one that was fighting. I wish I can say it was me that was fighting all this Lucifer or fighting the celebrity spiritual cult that recruits people. It wasn't. It's me that I had the angel of God had given me authority to actually speak. So I will speak. And every person that, because Lucifer, what he does is his job, and whatever Satan himself, his job is to turn you against you, people, like family, rejection, causing all these things. It was him like bringing people that were brought to me to turn against me. I'll just sit back. God will do the talking for. And if it was time to kick them out, I kicked them out. Because I was no longer, I'm just sharing with those who are Christian out there. I was no longer the one that was actually um, getting depressed, worrying about things. No, God showed me who He is at that moment. The 7 years of my journey, fighting that sacrifice, He showed me who He is. So if you are somebody struggling with your inner child, and if you are a Christian, I've never done it as a non-Christian. I've done it as a Christian, the healing. You can heal yourself by fasting 2 days a week or 3 days a week. And if you are struggling, you can go to MFM on YouTube, which is my church by Dr. Olukoya. Or you can look for my brother, is on my profile, Leroy Pagat. Who else? Some of the pastors are not there, are not on social media, some of them that helped me. You can actually ask them to motivate you. They can motivate you however you want to be motivated. But Dr. Olukoya, he doesn't do the motivation. He does not do that. He trains you like a soldier. You have to be like a warrior. So if you want him to actually coach you, you have to be prepared to be a warrior. That's what MFM does. They prepare you to fight your own battles. He knows how Satan works. So if you are a Christian and struggling, if you don't want to follow these guys, just 2 day fasting a week, 3 day fasting a week. That helps you to heal. That fasting, it will guide you through what you need to do. The Holy Spirit will guide you. Once you're connected to your inner being, or even if you're not Christian, try to fast and see how what it does to you. Being connected to your inner being. Once you connect to the Holy Spirit, which is, or sometimes it's a winning your inner man. And once you connect to your inner man, that guiding you, be guided through on what to do with your life, how that the healing process. That's what I that's what has helped me. But then after that, I have to maintain that journey of healing. Now I'm in a position where I want to take my life to the next level. I want to connect with the realm, God, truly, truly. That's what I'm working on. To actually see, to actually ask Him Himself, like talking like a child, father and a child, why He wants me to do, why did He save me? And is there purpose that He wanted me to do while I'm here? Now I'm ready to do that purpose, whatever He wants me to do. That's why I'm like, that's my next level of life, where I now need to go take my life to the next level, um, to see why He saved me, um, and what's my purpose here on earth, and then fulfill that that purpose on His behalf. I still work on my Ngosi talk shows. I still work at Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency, and I still have to enjoy God at the same time as well. It's my Father in heaven. So, guys, I think that's my time done now. It's Thursday today. I don't know who I'm with tomorrow, but if you want to heal your inner child, um, there are some things that are sometimes I have not said it, but I can teach you private to actually learn properly how to heal your inner child properly. And it is healing your inner child is part of my package as well. But if you are not a Christian, don't worry about me recruiting you to be a Christian. I completely respect people that are not Christian. Because for me, being a Christian is accepting God in my life. It was a choice. It's a choice that no one can take that away from me. And I completely understand the people that are not Christian, that it is their choice. So when you come in for coaching, there's lots of coaches that can deal with you, depending on whatever you want to deal with. And if you are looking for love, please go to the website and just sign up for relationship and matchmaking. And also talk shows, please do sign up for coaching is separate. We have boot camp as well. If you are interested in boot camp, please do send a message. And God bless you, everyone. Live with grace. And don't forget to subscribe to our channels. Uh, YouTube, be part of the family. Once you get in, you are like part of the family. Gossip talk shows, Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency. Live with grace, everyone. God bless.